I'm MarzGurl.
I'm JoshKnightTheFirst.
And welcome to episode 131 of MokkoriPlay, the only podcast dedicated solely to all things City Hunter.
On today's podcast, we're going to cover the City Hunter OVA film, Bay City Wars.
We're finally done with another season of City Hunter, which means we're up to a couple of these OVA TV films, finally. These were films that were released originally through ADV. In fact, ADV released only the movies first before ever releasing the TV series.
Of course, these movies got dubbed. The series did not, and it still hasn't, and maybe one day we'll get that fixed, but it's probably not anytime soon.
No, that would be a very long endeavor for whoever would choose to do it, and it would probably be Discotek. I'm pretty sure they've still got the license, although they've let the TV series kind of go out of print a little bit, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
If they have, we are single-handedly trying to get people back interested in the show, us along with I know we just covered it. Who's releasing the manga?
Kana.
No, damn it, I second-guessed myself.
Abrams under their manga label Kana.
I really gotta stop second-guessing myself. But yes, all of us are working together to make sure you are interested in City Hunter. So if you're listening, you've come to the right place.
This is the right place. It's the only place, in fact.
It is, in fact, the only place. But you bring up an interesting point about City Hunter going out of print. So you guys might remember we talked to you about the most recent movie, Angel Dust, maybe just over the last couple of episodes, being released over here by Shout.
Right, they were doing that in partnership with All the Anime, which is a UK distributor, so they licensed it first and then partnered with Shout to also distribute it in North America.
Well, about the distribution thing, it wasn't going to last very long because now it's going out of print.
Oh my god, what the hell?
Like, it was barely a month, right?
It's under 2 months.
Okay, under 2 months. Less than 60 days. They got it, and then they're like, never mind, we're done.
Yeah, they were done. They did one run, and the print is done. They're not printing more, and cool. I hope you got it either through Shout, or I guess they were selling it on Crunchyroll or whatever, or if you specifically wanted a North American disc, I hope you got it, because, I mean, we didn't actually get the North American disc, and maybe we still could.
I mean, it's discounted now because it's going out of print. Is it not?
It is, because they're on a Shout sale because they're not printing more, except for the fact that the last that I saw, somebody was in my reply saying that they already went and got theirs, and then they were gone.
So they might be gone already.
At least through Shout. At least as far as Shout directly is concerned. So I hope you either got your US discs, or you were like, screw it, I want that Steelbook from the UK. They weren't selling the Steelbook in North America. That is not a thing that was happening.
But we managed to get that in before importing became astronomically hard.
That is very true.
So, like, a couple of questions here. First off, Shout, honestly, what the hell? Like, you guys don't even act like you guys wanted this.
Yeah, it's difficult for me to tell whose fault this is, although I don't have a super high opinion of Shout. I'm gonna be just honest with you guys. For a number of reasons, I don't have a very good opinion of Shout.
I mean, thank you guys for the Zets release. You guys are doing pretty decent with that as far as I've seen. But that's
for Kamen Rider. That's live action stuff. It's wholly unrelated
to anime,
to City Hunter or whatever.
But as far as this goes, it's like you guys aren't the City Hunter guys. Like, as far as I was aware, Discotek had pretty much cemented themselves. Like, no, we got this. We got it covered. We did all of this. So now I can only hope. Number two, my next question is, Discotek, we know some of you guys at Discotek. Is there a possibility now, if they're letting it go out of print, are they letting go of the license already?
Well, again, I don't know if this is a Shout decision. This is an All the Anime decision, and they chose to partner with Shout as their US distributor. So, like, what did All the Anime want with the license? They don't typically go here, right?
Yeah, so, like, that's the question about things that get released from people who don't normally go here. Like, you have to have somebody who knows what the thing is and hopefully cares for and loves the thing to direct you in the right direction so that you can get the most bang for your buck, get new eyes on the thing, and then everybody's happy with the release.
The movie release is also just very bare bones. There's no dub, it's just subtitles, and like, I think maybe a trailer is on it, and like, that's the entirety of the disc, and we're lucky that the UK version had a steelbook.
Right.
That's the whole release.
And the thing is, like, will it go to streaming now? Like, people still would probably benefit from being able to watch it somewhere.
Somewhere.
Be nice. So we'll keep you guys updated to see if anybody else picks it up or all the anime decides to distribute through someone else. I mean, we're just as much in the dark as everyone else right now.
Cool. Well, we do have one movie that is being distributed in North America right now.
Right now.
And that's the one that we're going to talk about, and that's Bay City Wars, which came out in the year 1990.
A couple days after my birthday that year.
Yeah. So that's August.
Yes. You can watch this off Retro Crush. You can watch this off Tubi. Or if you would like to go ahead and get in on that, Discotek did release this with a set with all of the other movies, all the other shorter movies, and a nice little package there, which I think you can still get now.
Yeah, the movies I don't believe have gone out of print. I know they were talking about the TV series going out of print for a long time, but it's a pretty good deal to be able to get so many of these movies on one disc.
It's like 7, right?
It's 2 discs, right?
2 disc set, yeah.
Yeah, I do believe it's like 7 TV movies all in one.
And the thing about this one going into it is that it is very much evocative of season 1 City Hunter to me, in that there's a lot of love for American action cinema from the late 80s.
I really, really, really like this movie because it is so very clearly like somebody, yes, liked probably Schwarzenegger style action films. What's a movie you said you would have compared this to?
Well, it's Commando. For sure, like I get a feel of Commando once we get to Umibozu
right
entering the scene. But then the end of it, there is very clearly, we saw War Games, and we remembered War Games so hard we just stole wholesale from War Games.
There's gonna be a point where we could put a screenshot from War Games next to a screenshot of Bay City Wars and be like, "You tell me which one is which."
Right. So I think we were joking between us to call this one Bay City War Games by the end.
Yeah.
Of course, we're talking about the Ali Sheedy, Matthew Broderick movie from '83.
Yes, that's correct, 83. It was like a 7-year difference, but they
had time.
They were clearly inspired by that film.
And there's not a whole lot of meat on this bone here, so we might as well just go ahead and get started talking about it. So, this is a tight runtime here, 45 minutes of a movie, so it moves pretty quick compared to 357 Magnum.
Yeah, it did make it a lot easier for us to go through twice. In fact, we've been watching these films twice because we're doing
once dubbed and once in the original Japanese.
Once in Japanese and once with the English language dub. And really, this English dub is not a huge diversion from the original Japanese language. By and large, aside from the things that we had a problem with, like when you go back and you listen to our podcast on 357 Magnum, yes, there's still the same differences as far as people's names are concerned, right? Ryo's name is Joe. They've really stuck with Kaori's name definitely being Corey. Boy, does that bother me. But at least they stuck with a pronunciation this time, right?
Yeah, but then turning Sayako into Sandra, but her last name is still Nogami?
Yeah, so why bother? Maybe they were concerned that these English speakers would just keep pronouncing her name as Psycho. I don't know if that was them trying to avoid making her sound strange because Americans can't pronounce Japanese names very well.
Or
what?
It was a different time back then, so that the idea of that wasn't nearly as common. I can speak to that insofar as I remember the first concert I ever attended at A-Kon, Do As Infinity. They put on an amazing show.
You tell me about that one all the time.
No, yeah, it was an amazing show and I loved it. And then I went out and got 2 of their albums right afterward because they did such a good job.
Right.
I only knew them for Inuyasha like so many other people did, right? Mm-hmm. And at the time, my Japanese was only so good because all I had done was watch anime for a couple of years and I was only barely taking Japanese.
Right.
So when they cheered out to the audience, or they called out to the audience, "Psycho!" I didn't know what they meant at the time. So I thought, "Oh, you guys are being psychos!" Like, "Oh, alright, that's a compliment." And it's like,
then, that's not even the same word as her name. Psycho is not the same as Saeko.
Yeah, but what I'm talking about is picking up on the difference in intonation and syllabically. Psycho and Saeko and Saiko all sound the same to somebody who doesn't know any better.
Right, I would agree.
But for something like this, Sandra, I don't know, it just rubs me the wrong way.
It does. It does bother me that they thought, oh, we need to change all of these characters' names to be Western, and yet you clearly left Sayako's family name alone. So then what was the problem? Why did we even need to do this at all?
Like, you could have gone in harder, call her Sandra Norman or some shit. I don't know, like, lean into it, or, I don't know, learn how to pronounce a Japanese name, maybe.
So, the point I'm trying to make is that aside from, like, these name changes that, I mean, at least they're sticking to the names that they gave them in the first movie that they dubbed. They're being consistent there. Aside from that, this isn't a huge change that they're making in the dub from the original translation of what is originally being said in Japanese.
No, like, they're taking about as many liberties with the script as I want to say the most recent Dragon Ball Super movies have taken.
Sure.
Where it's only just a handful of lines. It's very minor, but it's still more or less in character.
So, like, Ryo, I thought was the biggest problem the last time we listened to this cast, right? Because he had a lot of moments where he needed to be really serious, and yet he was still making a bunch of quips and stuff, and so I had a problem with that. But this movie, he's only so serious so much of the time, and therefore this English language guy is not so bad.
This time,
for the sake of this movie, where Ryo is pretty funny, pretty humorous, high energy, you know?
And for the most part, again, I think I said this in the 357 episode, vocally, in terms of pitch, everybody's pretty close to their Japanese counterparts.
Yeah.
So that makes it a lot easier to listen to. I think of all the City Hunter movies, this is the one that's the easiest to get somebody to watch sight unseen, and they'll be like, oh, okay, I get it.
That's true. You just have to tell them, now these aren't their names, but otherwise, fine.
It's the same conversation you have to have with Pokemon people, like, hey, you know his name's not really Brock, right? He's not really Ash.
You know Ash's name is actually Satoshi, right?
And people are like,
that's a very Japanese name.
And people still give you the shocked Pikachu face, even now in the year 2025.
What do you mean? His name is Satoshi. If I've grown up with this guy, his name is Ash.
Sure it is. But anyway, so our movie here starts off here in the Tokyo Bay, which would make sense. It's called Bay City Wars.
Yeah, interesting. He left Shinjuku. Ryo leaves Shinjuku this movie.
Now, to be fair, the reason everybody left Shinjuku is, at least for Kaori and Ryo, they're both being cheap asses and they heard there was free food.
Right, although Ryo hasn't actually made it to the place with the free food yet.
So what's happening here is that all of our action is going to primarily be taking place on this Tokyo Bay Island complex, I guess is what I should call it. It's very much based on Odaiba.
Well, not even, because really, I mean, it's based on where Odaiba, as we know it today, would later crop up.
Right, that's what I mean.
That is very much true. So this is a man-made island, much like Odaiba actually is today, but the Odaiba that has cropped up now, that we know, that has a bunch of shopping and entertainment and restaurants and a little bit of theme parky kind of shit, right? That development didn't happen until the mid-90s. So this is pre that. But they had kind of plans to develop out there, so this isn't all that difficult to believe or understand. Like, eventually Odaiba would kind of sort of look like this.
And so what's happening here at Tokyo Bay Island is that they're having a grand gala reception for the opening of Tokyo Bay City Hotel, which is this giant towering monolith over the rest of the island. And they've also got a theme park, like you just mentioned, and an exhibit hall. Everything opens up tomorrow, and so they're having this big shindig where it turns out that both Kaori and Miki are already present, getting ready to take part in the festivities. Ryo and Umibozu somehow are nowhere to be found.
I guess Miki got the invite, and then Miki invited Kaori and Ryo and Umibozu. Like, it's pretty sweet that she was able to invite an additional 3 people to this thing.
And as we're opening up, the guy who's in charge of the place, who I don't think we ever caught his name.
No, I guess not.
So I'm just going to call him the owner of the hotel.
Is he the owner, or is he just the guy who's announcing this whole thing to this room full of people at this event? Like,
okay, what would you feel better with? The hotel director?
I actually
owner?
don't know what he is. That's what I'm telling you.
Then I'm just sticking with owner for the purposes of this episode.
Sure, that's fine. So, guy in a suit and a tie and glasses telling everybody about the thing. He's got a really big explanation for, like, this hotel is a really big deal because it's more than just a hotel.
Right, it's got all the aforementioned things, but on top of all of those things, there's also a super high-powered computer in the basement that's connected to ports all over the world.
It's kind of like the internet, but not quite. It's more like... Is it more like Usenet? Like, it's important it is connected to probably more military-ish government locations across the world, right?
Which will be very important here in a minute.
They have this really cool, like, 3D wireframe animation of, like, take a look at this incredibly detailed blueprint of our hotel. Seems to me like that would be a bad idea to show off to people, to tell people.
Well, no, because you don't think anything's gonna happen.
Well, why would you show, here's where we keep our top secret information inside of our hotel?
Well, okay, when you put it that way, then it's a little iffy. Now, I do want to stop here before we get any further, because at this point, maybe we're like 5 minutes into the movie.
Right.
I do want to stop to talk about the music here, because we've been getting mad at the French music in regular-ass City Hunter, like we just did here in City Hunter 3.
With, like, the accordion or whatever it is that's playing.
Well, we don't have to worry about that here in Bay City Wars. What we do have in its place, Peruvian flute music.
I'm going to assume that this is because, hey, we've got another fake land, and we needed something that sounded foreign. We got a bunch of dudes with Spanish-sounding names, I guess.
At least one dude.
At least one dude with a Spanish-sounding name. And they were just like, you know what? Peru. That's where they decided to pull from. That sounds like distant and exotic enough. Let's pull Peruvian flute music. And, like, I'm just sitting here flashing back to, remember all the times walking up to
River Center Mall.
On River Center Mall on the San Antonio Riverwalk, and there's just this pavilion outside the doors to the food court where they, for like decades, had a group of people just playing Peruvian flutes and selling Peruvian flute music on CD and cassette.
Yeah, that was very much a thing for a very long time. I remember those days quite well. So for what it's worth, Coyote is assuming that Rio is up to no good. She's ready to bust out her hammer and go looking for him, but for right now, Miki manages to calm her down and convince her, hey, don't worry about dudes, worry about foods. So let's go hit up the buffet. While she's doing that, though, Rio is actually across town at a very empty cat's eye, trying to find the directions that Coyote had handwritten him about where to get to said free food.
He cannot for the life of him remember where it was he was supposed to go. He's checking his pockets, and all he can find is a bunch of underwear he's stolen from women. Those aren't instructions to get to Odaiba.
And he manages to accost one woman on the street who admittedly swiftly kicks him in the face.
Good, so, I mean, at least he's punished pretty quickly for it.
What's funny about that is the dub actually doesn't say exactly what is being said there in Japanese, but I was okay with it. Rio kind of jumps out of the bushes at this woman who's a very leggy woman and is like, hey baby, you got nice legs. He gets kicked in the face and she's like, thanks, I work out. And then in a stupor he's like, oh, that's really working out for you. You should keep it up. And I was actually okay with that.
Yeah, it's fine. It's in tone. It's in character.
Right.
It's fine.
Now, while Ryo's getting kicked in the face,
he had it coming.
It's weird that in the dub also that Coyote just assumes that Ryo is out hitting on women and just says, I'm gonna go check, and then pulls out the hammer. In the dub, they decide to have Cory say he's probably off perving on women and reciting poetry to them.
They did what apparently they do in France to Nicky Larson, okay? Where apparently Nicky Larson just keeps inviting women out to vegan restaurants. That is apparently their localization.
That's their thing.
Yes.
As opposed to, hey baby, let me squeeze them cheeks, like Rio is normally like.
Yeah, I mean, here Ryo's not much different, but they did sort of give him the additional, oh, also, did you know he picks up women by reciting poetry to them? Oh, wow, this is a classy guy.
Yeah, but if you know anything about Ryo Saiba, you know the only poem he knows is There Once Was a Man from Nantucket.
Well, he knows roses are red, violets are blue, let me squeeze them cheeks, I don't have another rhyme.
Yeah, basically. That's how that works. Now, at this time, we notice there are several trucks making their way towards Tokyo Bay City, towards the hotel. These large, like, 18-wheelers, about 3 of them I count. They all park out in front. There's an attendant being like, hey, you can't bark here. And then that guy gets a gun to the face. And all of these troops pour out.
I mean, mind you, he doesn't die or anything.
No, they're just pointing a gun at him.
They're just pointing the gun. Yeah, then a bunch of dudes are all hut, 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 hut.
And they're all led by some big dude with, like, what do I call it? Like, Fist of the North Star or, like, Saint Seiya shoulder armor.
Yeah, that same kind of energy. He a big dude, too.
Yeah, big dude by the name of Gomez, we learn.
Yeah.
So here's our one guy with a Spanish-sounding name. Now, at the moment, nobody knows this is happening, because currently Cowdy is just representing at the buffet, which, again, makes me love her as a character.
Oh, yeah, she's picking up everything she's got. She got the spaghetti, she got the...
A whole rotisserie chicken.
A rotisserie chicken, and then the lobster, okay?
Oh, yeah, the lobster.
Which the dub, it was something to the effect of, oh, come on over here, little lobster.
Well, no, she's like, when she picks up the spaghetti, because that's the sequence, it's spaghetti, chicken, lobster. She's like, oh, get some carbs, get some protein, and, oh, hello there, little lobster. Like, very Adam Sandler voice. And the thing is, she's like stuffing this plate full and throwing it under the table for later. And Miki's having to tell her, hey, like, slow your roll. You're doing this in front of everybody.
And everybody's just looking at you like, what about our food?
Which, to be fair, you know, I've been in enough family situations and enough buffet situations. That's how you roll sometimes.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes you gotta do that. Sometimes the good food goes quick and they don't replace it.
Well, you have to learn how to pile it all onto one plate.
I've had to learn how to do that at Shakey's. Sometimes you can't get all the pizza you want. You know, you're waiting for them to refill it, and then when it finally all comes out, then you gotta pile on.
Yeah, that was the case at CC's when finally, there's that pepperoni jalapeno, and if I don't get it right now, it's gonna disappear, so I have to just put, like, the whole pizza onto one plate. Now, it doesn't fit on that plate, so you have to just stack the slices on top of each other. Now, will the slices stick to each other because you have put bread underneath cheese? Yes, that is what is going to happen, but are
you going to shove the whole thing in your mouth at once?
Yes, I am.
Also, yes, because that's what you're doing. It's
anyway,
a CC's.
What I'm saying is that I can empathize with Kaori right now.
And for 2 seconds, the action goes back to Shinjuku as we're following this blonde woman throughout the streets who clearly seems to be being pursued by this large, hulking, slightly familiar figure. She ends up bumping into Ryo, who again tries to hit on her, but then he very quickly realizes, oh, she's actually on the run from somebody, and he offers his services to try and protect her. He goes to try and deal with whoever's behind him, only to have this giant dude push him into the alley, and we notice that it's actually Umibozu.
It's Umibozu, which, again, this dub will never call him Umibozu. They'll just stick with his codename of Falcon literally the entire time. Fine, I guess. That is sometimes his name. We're missing the part where Ryo has given him a stupid nickname to call him Bald. That's all we're missing in the dub.
And for the most part, Umibozu's being very cagey with his answers. He's just saying, back off, I got this woman. Ryo's being upset, like, no, you've got a woman, you've got Miki. I saw this one first.
As if Ryo doesn't have Kaori, but I guess they don't identify like that.
Well, we all know that on paper, that's not how that works.
Oh, I know. So they start fighting over this woman, but then the woman, in the middle of their fighting, leaves. She gets into a car that has driven up to pick her up. We see on the inside of the car, there's a couple of dudes in that car. There's a dude dressed out in top military
uniform,
foreign military uniform with, one of those hats. One of those little hats. Like, I don't know what kind of a hat that is.
And then some asshole in glasses.
And an asshole in glasses. They have picked this woman up and then sped off with her, and Umibozu's like, oh no, they didn't.
But before any of that happens, Ryo is trying to get Umibozu to back off and let him holler at this woman, and he manages to freeze up Umibozu just for a little bit with this cute little white cat.
Umibozu, again, terrified of cats.
He makes this great reaction face.
He does have a very good reaction face. Your little notes drawing of his face is actually a really good... I wish you could see this through sound.
It's a tiny note. Because I'm trying to save room on our notepad here that we use for the episodes, but that's basically like the greatest reaction face. Like, I want you to grab this for a screen grab.
Yes.
Along with several other great screenshots that this movie has.
But this is why it is that this woman's able to get away, right? Because Ryo trying to spook Umibozu with a kitten, and again, kittens fucking love Umibozu.
They trust him.
I wish he would just calm the fuck down, because kittens love him, they trust him, he doesn't need to be afraid of them, they love him. But this is why this woman was able to escape and get in that car and get away.
Now, between the two of them, only Ryo brought wheels, so he tries to go over to the Mini, but before he can do that, Umibozu gets there first, and completely rips out the driver's side, which is now on the left side.
Right, we can tell that over time, throughout the series and various movies, Ryo has gotten different models of the Mini Cooper. He is replacing his Mini Coopers with different Mini Coopers. For a good chunk of the TV series, you know, his steering wheel was on the right-hand side, traditionally Japanese style, right? This one's on the left, so clearly he's got an import vehicle now. But doesn't matter, he can't drive it. He never actually drives it during this whole movie. Instead, with Umibozu, who doesn't actually fit in this car. Every time he's gotten in this car, he never fits in the car, his head is just about bursting through the roof, and Ryo is having to cling to the roof of his own car, and he's so sad about what is happening to his car, and it's getting away from him. And so is this woman, for that matter.
And at base, Umibozu owes him a door and a chair, because in trying to get back into the car, into the driver's seat, Ryo ends up ripping off his own driver's side door and is clinging to the roof, so like...
No, Ryo didn't rip the door off.
Yeah.
Umibozu ripped the door off.
No, he ripped it open and ripped out the seat, but Ryo trying to hold on to the car, that's how the door falls off.
Okay, but yeah, Umibozu rips out that seat, so now he's just sitting on the floor of the Mini Cooper, which must be uncomfortable. This cannot be a comfortable situation.
And they're giving chase for these guys and this woman who really, I understand why Umibozu's doing it. Ryo has no clue. All he knows is this woman is attractive.
But also that Umibozu clearly thinks this is very important, so really, Ryo understands that something crazy is going down right now. And obviously, this is his car. Why would he not be tagging along when Umibozu basically just stole his car?
And these guys in the car along with this woman, they catch on very quickly. Hey, we're being followed by some crazy guy holding on to a Mini Cooper. The Hulk is driving? I don't get it. I just see this big mass of green in there.
Right.
And we're introduced to these two guys, so I'll go ahead and give you guys their info. So Claude is the guy in the glasses. He doesn't seem to have a rank, or maybe he did.
And he's just got, in English, he's just got the worst accent. Like, that's the thing about these guys. Everybody in the English dub has an accent, which I'm guessing is some kind of faux Spanish.
Some of them sounded Russian, though.
It was really difficult to tell what they were trying to do.
What's weird, though, is Gomez didn't seem to have an accent.
I don't know.
So Claude seems to be the second in command to the guy in the military uniform who we're introduced to as General Gilliam. And I guess they've got access to some other, like, little ThinkPad computer or something, because they're very able to quickly, having gotten a little bit of a quick look at who these guys are, Umibozu and Ryo, look up their whole profile on the not internet. And they get these printouts of them very quickly of, oh, Ryo Saiba, he's City Hunter, and it has a little dossier on him. And what's funny is when it gets to Umibozu, it has his, given name, Hayato Ijuin, and we can kind of sort of make out the English text of what, it has under his name. Because mind you, it'll say their name, the car they drive, the gun they use, but for Umibozu, there's a little bit of flavor text.
It's difficult to read because it's clear what they've done is they've lit this cell with a light box, and so it's supposed to look like the screen is glowing from behind, right? Which makes the text kind of difficult to read, but it is in English, and all we can really make out as far as Umibozu is concerned is that it says something to the effect of, he is big, very, very big. And there's still more to this paragraph, and we cannot read it, but like, what an incredible description. Meanwhile, over on Ryo's dossier, I can't hardly make out any of that, but it looks like for the vehicle, they've like literally translated the word mini into little or something.
Yeah,
like
because
that.
it looks like it says Little Cooper.
Little Cooper.
You guys know what kind of car he drives. You don't have to translate it into the literal word little. Mini's part of the name.
Mini is the make of the vehicle.
But they managed to make it to this bridge where they've already got troops set up, General Gilliam and his crew. These guys have a whole, like, 50 cal turret set up on the bridge, and they just blow the shit out of Umibozu and Ryo, you know, trying to get across the bridge, and they end up going over the side guardrail and into Tokyo Bay.
Very sad. We've lost another Mini Cooper.
It only took about 10 minutes.
Done it again, and Ryo never even got to drive his own car this whole movie. It's very sad.
So all of our bad guys over here assume that that was all they needed, everything's been taken care of. But we see that Ryo is swimming to shore, crawling over these like little pylon things. Like, I don't know what you call them.
What are those called? But I think they're like breakers.
Like wave breaker
wave
thingers.
breakers. Yeah, you know, they've got like 3-4 horns like sticking out of them. Like, what the fuck are these things called?
We've looked them up before, and I can't remember the name off the top of my head.
They are specifically designed to break the water.
Break the waves up.
Yeah.
So Ryo's fine, and he's just under the assumption, well, I can only hope that Umibozu took care of himself. Well, anyway, I'm going to go head off in the direction where they're heading, which, think about this, when Ryo pulled himself out of the water, he wasn't at Tokyo Bay City.
Wait, where was he?
He just got off on the shore. Somehow, he had to have swam from where he got out of the water, because they didn't make it all the way to Tokyo Bay City.
They didn't cross the bridge?
They were on the bridge, but they didn't make it all the way across.
Well, then he just had to pick a direction. If he was already halfway there...
Yeah, but they're on an island. He had to get back in the water and swim.
What do you mean back in the water? He was in the water when the car went into the water. What do you mean?
Yeah, but when you see where he exits the water, the cars are still driving away down the bridge toward Tokyo Bay City. He's not there.
I guess.
Yeah. He had to get back in the water and swim to Tokyo Bay City, and so did Umibozu. Both of them had to swim the rest of the way there.
You're saying they were on the side of the bridge before leaving land.
They had left land. They were over water. There was the break here on the side. Ryo had to go backwards to get out of the water.
Yeah, what you are saying is when they got out of the water, they got up on the shore of the actual landmass of Japan.
Right. Because the next time we see them, they're in Tokyo Bay City.
Maybe they took a taxi, Josh.
No, they did not. Because Gomez and all those dudes have the bridge locked down.
Josh, I don't know. I don't know what's happening.
See, that's the thing. Like, this movie hopes that you're not going to catch that. But we caught it.
Well, you did, I guess.
Okay, fine.
It wasn't a big deal to me, but now, fine. I guess it ruins everything.
I didn't say it ruined it.
Ruins everything.
Oh my god. Because, yeah, the next time we see them, we're in the theme park portion of Tokyo Bay City, and we see two troops stopping to eat, like, their lunch, like, they packed sandwiches or something, and before they get a chance to eat them, like, Yogi Bear style, Ryo steals the sandwiches out of the picnic basket they've brought with them.
Well, like, out of the guy's hand that he has pulled them from. Like, he's pulled these sandwiches out of the picnic basket, and then Ryo takes them out of the guard's hand before the guy even notices he's not holding anything in his hand anymore.
And then he's just running away like, thanks for the food! And they're like, hey, he took our food, shoot him! And now, everybody's shooting at Ryo. Ryo's like, oh, I wonder what they're so pissed off at. Sees an explosion from the other side of the park, and he just has to assume, oh, that's gotta be Umibozu.
I like that he's being very playful about this, but he's learning that an important thing is happening here. He just doesn't know why. He doesn't look like he's taking it seriously, but clearly he's like, well, I guess I gotta get involved. It just doesn't look like he he's being very... I don't know what word I'm looking for.
Well, he's being very nonchalant about it.
Yeah.
If anything, he's got a lot of, like, Bugs Bunny energy right now.
Right.
Everybody else around him is serious, and he's very much like, what's up, Doc? Like, that kind of thing.
Right. Meanwhile, this theme park is just getting blown the fuck up. This is a very much a Six Flags, Knott's Berry Farm looking kind of a place, right?
Well, I mean, it's, to me, the closest approximation would be eventually Tokyo Dome City, the amusement park part of that, because, you know, they've got those classic attractions, you know, roller coaster, Ferris wheel, all that jazz.
How is this not, like, the same thing as what I just said? Like, this place has everything. It has a western section. It has a ghost house. And all these things are getting blown the fuck up, okay?
What's crazy is trying to get away from these dudes, Rio, like, does his Spider-Man crawl up the side of a roller coaster.
Yeah.
And then manages to get on the roller coaster before anybody has had the chance to turn it on, unless he did it. And he's riding this roller coaster until it jumps track and then crashes into the fun house you just mentioned.
Yeah. Meanwhile, Umibozu still be out there. He like picking fights with people. I like that there's one specific guard out there that's just like, "Okay?"
Well, yeah, because, like, in the dub
specifically.
You know, there's like, "This is Section L4, we're under attack by a bald man." Okay? And then that Umibozu lights him up. What's crazy about this, though, is Umibozu's fully kitted out right now.
Right.
And I'm having to ask that question again. Where do you get the guns from? Because there's two possible options. There's option one, which I think is the easiest one, is that he swam to shore, however many miles it was through Tokyo Bay, and just ganked some weapons from the soldiers.
Right.
Which is pretty easy to imagine Umibozu doing. Mm-hmm. Or two, he pulled some cowdy shit, and he just pulled that shit out of end space.
I mean, I think that happened, personally, because this is a cartoon. So I think he took it all with him in a little pocket dimension.
Or shoved up his ass.
Yeah, one of those.
Because he's got, like, unlimited grenades.
Right, as he does, often. Meanwhile, in the hotel, Kaori is still, like, over here just ganking food at every opportunity, and she's, like, looking out the window of the hotel, and she's like, "Hey, check it out down there, look at all those pretty fireworks." And the guy that we keep talking about that's running the show, maybe he owns the hotel, maybe he's just the guy giving the speech about the hotel, we don't know, but he's looking out the window and he's like, "I don't remember scheduling any fireworks, that's weird."
Mind you, Cowdy is still getting down on more food. She's got like a fruit tray, a charcuterie board, it looks like flan or pudding or something like that, a whole gravy boat. And what's funny is, right before she mentions the fireworks outside, you see Miki thanking the manager, owner dude for like inviting them. And Cowdy's got this little business behind them of, like, putting all the food under the table. And she's, like, just giggling to herself all giddy. It's this great little bit of business there.
She's so proud of herself. Meanwhile, while all these explosions are happening down on the ground, Ryo's trying to have this conversation with Umibozu. Like, "So what are we chasing this woman for?
What's her name?
Why are we doing this?
What's going on? Tell me why you're doing this." And Umibozu's like, "Shut up, start fighting, take a gun, get to work. Nah, man, you gotta tell me what's going on. Who's the babe?" And I like the way they did it in the dub, because in the Japanese, he just gives up and tells him the name. And in the dub, they make him say it kind of by accident. Like, "Hey, what's the lady's name?" "Stop talking about Luna." "Oh, that's her name." Like, he said it by accident kind of thing.
Right.
But yes, this woman's name is Luna that he's looking for. And Ryo's like Naruto running away from him while he's being shot at by Umibozu. Like, "Shut up, you little pervert, get to work." No, I know her name. I'm gonna go."
What is this voice you've given him?
Well, it's kind of the voice he's using.
Ish. He also gets out of Umibozu that this is yet another one of Sayako's freebies that she has roped him into. He's not sure how, but he's like, "Oh, I know why you're down here, because this happens to me all the time, okay? Sayako's gonna get you into some mess, probably because she flashed her tits and now she's holding that over your head." And Umibozu doesn't deny, he's very bad at this.
Well, yeah, because he's getting flustered and he's like, "Hey, quit your shit." And at that moment, he has a walkie-talkie on him that we haven't noticed up until just this moment. And over the walkie-talkie, we hear Sayako over on the other side of the bridge being like, hey, can you give me a sit rep? What's going on over there?
Ryo picks up that walkie-talkie like, haha, I was right. It is you, Sayako. What do you got going on over here?
Nothing going on. Report back later. And then, like, crushes the walkie.
I feel like he should have understood he was going to need that walkie later. He should not have done that.
Sayako's over on the other side with her crew, like the cops and whatnot, being like, wait, what's Ryo doing there?
What do you mean, what's he doing there? You thought you were gonna just send Umibozu and he wasn't gonna find out about this? Especially when it's off in the direction of a party he was actually invited to go to. So, what do you mean? Oh, Ryo's over there, what's he doing over there? He actually is supposed to be there even though he kind of made it there by mistake.
By happenstance. So up in the party room, the owner's like, well, those fireworks aren't... I'm gonna go check that out. And it's at that moment the troops from downstairs finally make their way in and hold everybody at gunpoint. And I love that they're like trying to tell people like, get out on the ground, get out of the way. But in the dub, they decided to tell one of them to yell at the party goers, muévete!
Yeah, muévete, yeah. So they've very much decided in this English dub, yep, Spanish. That's where we're pulling from, is Spanish. And you'll remember in the last movie they were going with like German, Austrian,
some kind of European.
Well, some kind of German, because I think they were from Austria.
Germany's in Europe, and so is Austria.
They were specifically pulling from German language for their accent, is the point that I am making, Josh. That's the point that they picked a language to be grounded in for their dub.
So those guys were German, these guys are some kind of Spanish, and Miki somehow is a new type.
Yeah, we do get a lot of new type noises in this movie, but that is because this is Sunrise, right?
So Miki is able to at least get the gun away from one guard and is ready to like represent and start blasting, and Cody's like biting down on one guy's hand, but that guy Claude with the glasses shows up and he's like, you guys better not do that, we got you surrounded.
So then they're gonna take the ladies, at least those two ladies. Meanwhile, everybody else up there where the food is, they're all still at gunpoint for a while. But Ryo wants to figure out how to get on up in there.
Now it's gonna be a little hard for Umibozu to catch up, because now this guy Gomez has been told by Claude, go deal with these dudes. Dude's got a grenade launcher, and it's pretty much him v. Umibozu for about half the movie. This
is a very long fight between these two dudes. It's great. This is my favorite part of the whole movie, is this fight between Gomez and Umibozu.
Because, like, Gomez has the grenade launcher, and he's aiming right at Umibozu. Umibozu's gunning and running just like Schwarzenegger, and they're tearing up all of this real estate in the park, right? There's, like, next to no dialogue between them. They're just shooting.
No, they just know, you are my enemy, so we fight now. Yes, because we've been told to get into this fight.
And while that's happening, off in some room, we assume somewhere in the hotel, we see Gilliam watching a news report about himself, which is where we get our plot dump.
Plot dump is telling us, via news lady, there's a fake land. What is the name of this fake land that Gilliam is from?
So he has fled, actually, the Costero Republic.
Yes, located right in...
Yeah, it's over by...
Which obviously is why they have Spanish names.
Yeah, because that's right over there by Spainland.
It's Spainland, yeah. That's the one.
Yeah, that's the one. It's spelled as Costero Republic, and they pronounce it as such, but I kept wanting to say Costco Republic.
The Costello Republic.
It's right there by Banana Republic.
Yeah. Yeah, we did say the first time through, we just kept saying the Costco Republic.
So Gilliam here is evading U.S. capture. The U.S. wants him because he's responsible for bringing in 70,000 tons of drugs into America.
He doesn't like that, and therefore he doesn't like America. Thus, he's in Japan right now. This will make sense later. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here thinking, well, makes sense that he's pissed at America. America has historically been very good at destabilizing countries.
Which they kind of mention here is that he was trying to overthrow that country.
Yeah.
And the U.S. had some kind of hand in that.
So the U.S. is not exactly the good guy here. I just want to stress that. However, this guy is definitely the bad guy because the drugs drugs is a real thing, and also he sure is shit to his own dudes. Okay?
Yes.
It's not like he's a good guy, alright? Also, we'll find he really, really wants to blow up parts of places. He wants shit to blow up. That's not great. That's not super good.
So outside, Sayako has now heard that hostages have been taken up there in the party room. At this moment, we are getting somebody showing up by the name of Agent Norton, and it says in the Japanese, from the Pentagon, but in the dub, they changed this to the CIA.
Which, I mean, does the CIA not operate out of the Pentagon? I mean,
it's completely different. People from the Pentagon don't go out into the field. The
right,
CIA
that's what I was
makes
saying.
way more sense.
Well, that's what I was saying. But yes, we thought it was weird that a guy showed up and he was like, Norton, Pentagon. And I'm like, Pentagon's not a position. What do you mean? That's a building? What do you mean?
So, up in the hotel room where they've got all this taken care of, they've set up base, Claude and General Gilliam. They have now pulled up profiles on all four of our main characters here, Kaori, Miki, Umibozu, and Ryo. And they've all got little profile pictures.
Right, they're cute.
So, clearly these guys have access to whatever underworld info that all these other characters in the previous seasons have, where, you can just look up who's in the underworld.
It's the dark web.
Yeah, I guess it's 1990s dark web.
It's Usenet dark web. They went to an IRC channel and found this information being spread amongst the users.
And what's interesting is everybody's got their full name listed except Miki.
Why do they not have her family name? That's strange, and I looked it up. She just doesn't have one, Josh. Tsukasa Hojo never gave her a family name. None of the wiki pages involving her have a family name. Her name is just Miki.
And she's hoping the last name is Ijuin.
One day.
One day.
In the manga.
It does get there in the manga, right?
In the manga,
right,
yes.
Yeah.
It does not happen in the anime, so I keep hoping one day we're gonna finish up the arc that never got animated, right? One day we'll get the TV series, or we'll get another movie, and we'll finish the stuff with Ryo's dad, quote-unquote dad, and Miki and Umibozu will get married, all this shit, okay? Because we never got there in the anime at all, and it's a bummer. Anyway, she doesn't have a family name. That's funny.
And we're still getting more of this fight between Gomez and Umibozu. They're still blasting. Umibozu's run out of ammo in the chain gun, so now he's having to move to his sidearm. And as soon as he shoots that off, Miki can hear it all the way up in the party room.
And she's like, that's it, that's his gun, he's here. She knows his weapon. She's like, only Josh really knows and understands this. So Josh, how I bought our cats a brush to brush them, and now it's gotten to a point where if I lightly pick up that brush, one of our cats, Callie, can hear me pick up the brush, and she knows it's the brush, and she comes running, excited for the brush. This is Miki with Umibozu's gun.
Yes,
okay?
she has gotten that used to the sound of him picking up that weapon and firing it.
And it's really far away, too.
Yeah, they're pretty far distance, all things considered. They're like, what does that look like? Like a mile away?
It's not like he's right outside the window, okay?
Well, because they're up pretty high up in the hotel.
Yeah, to begin with, they're already several stories up, and it's far away.
And they're behind glass.
Yeah. It's not like the windows are open.
But somehow she was able to hear it. And at her perking up, she's like, Falcon's here! And then one of the guards, or I think it's Claude, steps in to be like, yes, Falcon is here! And so is City Hunter. And so are you two. We know you're all together.
And so we're gonna take you away now, taking you to a different room.
You're different hostages now. So, Umibozu and Gomez, I guess, have both run out of ammo, or they're getting close to running out of ammo. Now they've moved from the amusement park to the expo hall.
God, this is an incredible part of this fight.
Because they've now gone mostly toward grappling now. They're doing wrestling moves while we're looking at all of these ridiculous names for fake cars.
Right, so this showroom, because this island also has a car showroom, which is very interesting because later on in history, Odaiba would have like a presentation room. I'm trying to remember if it was Mazda or Mitsubishi, or maybe it's just gone through various different car companies have had showrooms on Odaiba before where they just show off concept cars, largely. And that seems to be what's going on here in this showroom as well. And these are all fake as shit cars with fake as shit brand names. What are some of these brand names, Josh?
I will tell you some of these fake brand names. There's the Igusa, the El Peo, the Mafic, the Centaur, the Perazal, the Sorelli, the Foro, the Spread, the Waddle.
I like spread because it's spelled S-P-R-E-D. It's not even like the word spread. It's spread is what it is.
Oh, and then this one that's spelled C-R-O-H-D'-A-U-N-E, which we can only pronounce as the Crouch Down.
The Crouch Down. I liked the Crouch. I really want to crouch down.
Our two favorite ones here. There's Big Core.
Big Core was
and
so
my
good.
absolute favorite one, the Pud. Kaylin, what can we do to get you behind the wheel of a Pud today?
Oh, you don't have to do anything. I've got the down payment right now for a PUD. The P-U-D, the PUD. Although there is also Sun Motors, and it has the Sunrise logo in the middle of the word, okay? I would definitely buy a Sun Motors car, probably because it'll turn into a Gundam.
You can only hope. And so, like, they're using car doors to hit each other with. They're using car doors to block explosions from each other. Just Gomez and Umibozu just going at it, having a ball. Meanwhile, Ryo has made it into the hotel, somehow without ever being caught. He's managed to knock out several guards.
He's just up there now. I guess, like, he went through some floorboards or some air vents or some shit. I don't know. There's no knowing with this guy.
As this is happening, the fight's still going between Gomez and Umibozu.
We will continuously just cut back in. Yep, there they go. Still beating the shit out of each other with, like, car doors and shit.
So Ryo sneaks his way into the ballroom where there's multiple guards and does the thing he has often done where he does an assault just to throw everybody in the room off.
I feel like he could have done this without the assault, but fine, he had a point that he was trying to, like, there's a reason why he was trying to do it. I'm not thrilled about it, but fine. Anyway, he got all the attention on him. That's what he was trying to do, was get all the attention on him and not on other innocent people in the room.
So he grabs this one lady's ass next to a table and claims, "Oh no, don't yell, they'll see me. Oh no, they saw me. Oh no."
That was the point.
That was the point.
That was the point. Every dude in the room with a gun.
It was like 6 or 8 dudes. Ryo's like, "Oh no, don't shoot me." And then he immediately, like, Arkham City takes down all of them.
He does. It's pretty acrobatic, I guess. That's what they're trying to make it look like. They're trying to make him look like he was just real fucking fast.
With the quickness.
Like, they've all got guns, but he just punched them all to sleep real fast.
That's the weird part about this movie, is that Ryo doesn't use his gun that much. Not until the very end.
He almost never pulls out his gun. Like, at all. In any moment where he could have, like, he really
Up until about this point, and I think there's a good reason for it.
He's not killing dudes.
Yet.
But everybody's like, "Oh, wow, thank you. You're here, and you helped us, and there were other people that were down here with us."
Other people. Tell me about that. Do you know if there's a woman named Luna around?
Oh, I don't know about Luna, but there were 2 other women, and they're not here anymore.
Do you know their names?
Yeah, it was Miki and Kaori, and Ryo's like, "Shoot, they're up in here. Wait, is this where I was supposed to go? Man, I missed out on all that food. Wait a minute, I bet Kaori stashed away some food." He found all the food she hid under a table.
He found the floor chicken.
He found the floor turkey, yeah. That's his payment. His payment is like, sweet, she reserved all this food for me. I don't know if that's what she was actually thinking.
I don't think it was. I think she was getting ready to get down herself.
Yeah.
And then, like, while Ryo's just chowing down, the owner of the hotel goes up to him like,
"Can we go?
Are we good? Can we go?" And Ryo's like, "Oh, you could, but, you know, the bridge is kind of taken over by the bad guys, so you should just probably go hide for another, like, 20 minutes.
They have 2 different versions of this, like in Japanese and in English. He tells them to go to like 2 different places, but the result is the same, is that he wants them to go and hide. Like in Japanese, he just tells them to get really, really, really far away, I think. And then in English, he's like, you might want to go to the basement. They've closed off the bridge. You might want to go to the basement, which actually makes more sense, because where are they gonna go otherwise?
I don't know, because by the end of the movie, the whole place is going to be trashed. We now go back to the fight in progress between Gomez and Umibozu, and they're just whooping ass on each other. Umibozu's like Greco-Roman wrestling this dude. He's judo throwing him. He's going all over the place, throwing him into the Crab Auto booth. Like, we're out here like it's pro wrestling. Fight forever. Fight forever. It's amazing.
It's
I love it.
good.
And finally throws him on top of
Crab Auto is so
this
good.
Astrovan looking thing. Finally knocks him out. Gomez dropped his walkie. Claude's trying to call in like, hey, can I get a sit rep? What's going on? And Umibozu's like, he's a little busy at the moment. Can I take a message? Claude's on the other end like, oh, so you're Falcon. Or, well, no, I'm not going to bother doing an accent. He's like, oh, so you're Falcon. I got somebody here who wants to talk to you. Puts Miki on the walkie.
And Miki's like, don't worry about me, just keep doing what you gotta do.
And Umibozu's like, what the fuck? And he's like, now you know we're serious. We're up in room 3508. You got 10 minutes to get up here. Otherwise, Miki goes boom.
Umibozu never likes to say anything like this out loud, but he does care about Miki, so he's like, oh, hell no. And he runs. He tears off. He's like, I'm not fucking with this guy anymore. Dude in the cars is mostly taken care of, right? Like, he's limping along.
He's not dead.
He's not dead, but he is like, he's incapacitated. He's pretty well incapacitated.
And yet he still wants to fight Umibozu, so he gives chase kind of behind him, but limping.
Right.
And now finally, I want to say a little over halfway through the movie, we finally see Luna again. And she's down in the sub-basement, walking through these halls with all these guards on the side, and she's like reciting like, I forget what you specifically call it, but it's the alphabet as it's done by the military, like Bravo, Foxtrot, Tango, that kind of thing.
Right. So she's memorized something. This is important. She needs to remember these letters. For some reason, you can guess that it's a password to something, right? But what that is, we don't know yet.
But Ryo manages to find her down there and reveal that he has put together what her true identity is. She is Luna Gilliam. She is General Gilliam's daughter.
Oh shit, so she's a princess from Fake Land.
Well, she's not a princess because they're not...
She's a princess from Fake Land.
Well, in this case, she's a terrorist from Fake Land.
Princess terrorist from Fake Land.
Close enough. Now, by this point, you might be forgetting that Sayako is outside with this dude from the Pentagon. Let's go check in on them real quick.
Because we keep bouncing back and forth between all these settings. So there's helicopters from the military here now, from the Marines specifically.
All the way from One Piece.
Yeah, the Marines that only exist in One Piece and nowhere else.
And no other anime.
And no real world situations.
Not one bit. And Sayako is having to yell at... What did I say this dude's
Norman?
name? Norton,
like the antivirus, yes.
Like the antivirus. And he's like, well, you guys are taking too long. America needs to get in there and kick ass.
So we've sent 2 helicopters. That's what America has done.
Sayko's having to point out, no, you dumb shit. There's a gun. There's a 50 cal on the bridge. You just sent your men to their death. And sure enough, that's immediately what happens.
I feel like Japan's communication with America is really bad right here. Like, I thought America and Japan had been allies for a really long time. Our government would have talked to their government about this shit. America would have demanded this information, and right now, quote unquote, the Pentagon, the CIA, is not asking the right questions, and they're just sending shit in there without having enough information.
Well, I think that's just a result of them having only watched 80s movies. If they had watched more movies in the 90s, like Patriot Games or Clear and Present Danger, they'd have a better idea of what these organizations would actually do and how they're being assholes. Or how they're supposed to be in a movie setting.
They would not be like, well, I guess we'll just talk to Tokyo PD and leave it at that. I don't think
maybe
America
even Lethal
would do
Weapon
that.
Would have helped by this point.
We need to go a step higher than Tokyo PD if the American military wants to get involved.
And Norton's over here yelling at Sayako like, well, you guys need to get in there. We've already said the U.S. will pay for whatever costs get incurred from this mission. And Sayako's like, well, we've already got dudes on the inside suicide, so just wait and pray. Thoughts and prayers, that's all you can do.
Thoughts and prayers. Again, I don't think America would tolerate this.
No.
I think Japan would be in a lot of trouble right now.
So finally, back downstairs on the way to the computer room, Ryo's basically not so much grilling Luna, but he's getting some information out of her. And she manages to share that her dad, General Gilliam, is trying to get revenge on the US because the US did in fact cause the coup that helped oust him from Costero.
Which, I mean, if he was really a bad guy, like, this is what propaganda does, right? If he's really a bad guy, then maybe it was a good thing that America came in and ousted the guy, except we destabilize countries all the time, and that's not always good. Well, I don't know why we're even in there doing that shit, but that's the one thing about this movie that is very believable. We would do that.
The US would do that.
The US would unfortunately do that.
Because I wouldn't do that.
Okay, I don't work for the government, okay? Clearly.
Really? Because I heard differently on social media. I hear you work for, like, all the big corporations.
I do, yeah.
And you run the Yakuza while fighting the Yakuza.
Yeah, you're right. A bunch of YouTubers figured it out already.
And then you sent Gamera to go fight all of these things. You're responsible for everything.
So I hear.
So, Luna figures that now's a good time to try and appeal to Ryo's machismo and be like, hey, I'm just a helpless girl, and I'm just a helpless terrorist trying to help her terrorist daddy. If you could protect my terrorist daddy, I'd be oh so grateful. Could you do that for me, please? And she tries to, like, kiss him, and Ryo's not playing any of it for once.
For once. But I think even a horned dog can sometimes realize, do I get some, or do I stop terrorism? Like, I think he understands what stakes are at play here. Clearly, because he's like, no.
Also, where's my partner?
Fine, I'll tell you. She's on the 35th floor. And he's like, what the fuck? He's very upset about this.
Oh, and she's gonna blow up.
So yeah, he very quickly wants to make sure that he gets to her, but unfortunately, there's only one elevator nearby, and it's a service elevator, and it just kind of goes straight to the roof. It does not stop at the 35th floor, and he's like, well, fuck it, I'm going to just make this work anyway. And so he aims to go all the way up to the roof.
Now, thankfully, by this point, Umibozu has now made it to the hotel. He's still blasting dudes. Gomez is still in chase, so he's not too far off. Ryo makes it to the roof and has to, like, quick time event immediately shoot this dude as soon as the doors to the elevator open. And he's making his way over to the window washer elevator unit on the side of the building to try and wheel himself down to the 35th floor. He doesn't get the chance to operate it, though, because some dude with a bazooka, like, tries to blow his ass up.
Right. There is a guy up... Is this the guy you mentioned a second ago? Like, he gets to the roof, he opens the door to the roof, and the guy is, like, right there in his face. And
yeah, that's the quick time event.
Yeah, he has dodged it so... Like, how do you dodge a gun in your face as fast as Ryo has dodged this gun in his face? Like, it's just kind of incredible.
But it's what he does. Now, mind you, by this point, Ryo is now killing dudes.
He is now
that he realizes that Kaori is in imminent danger, now he has decided it's okay to kill. And I like that if you're thinking about that, that makes perfect sense for his character.
It does make perfect sense. Like, I think, especially as time has gone on in City Hunter, sure, right at the beginning, I don't think Tsukasa Hojo knew exactly what to do with him, but as time has gone on, he only murders for Kaori's sake. At the beginning, he used to do a lot of murders, but Kaori wasn't there. Now he only murders...
Now he's talked to Zordon, and Zordon was like, never murder unless Kaori's in danger. That's the escalation.
Only murders when Kaori is in danger. Yeah.
But he never listens to the third thing Zordon told him, keep it in your pants. Like, that part, he doesn't listen to.
Yeah.
That's why he was never a Power Ranger.
Yeah, that's the reason why.
And not that he's over 30. So now, Ryo has been blown off the roof, grabbing onto this cable that somehow does not rip his hand open as he's holding on to it. Miraculously ends up with just enough slack to make it to the window on the 35th floor where Miki is tied up to a chair.
And then shoots a bullet through the window, pushes off, and then kicks through, swinging on in, kind of not too dissimilar from Kaori swinging in during the opening animation of City Hunter 3.
It's very similar,
There's a very similar looking style of swing, break in through a window, and land in this room.
So first thing he does once he gets through the window is check, Miki, are you all right? And Miki informs him, no, we're in double jeopardy here. There's a bomb on the table, and there's another bomb on the bed here on the other side of the room that's got a tripwire that's on the door handle. So if somebody tries to come in here, they're going to set off that bomb, which will set off the other bomb, so I'm going to be double exploded.
Right.
At that very moment, Umibozu has made it up to this level.
And Umibozu's about to walk in the door, but the door, like, it's got this wire that's attached to it. If he opens the door, this whole building, this whole floor is going to go sky high, so...
Ryo has to yell at him like, dude, don't open the door, it's got a tripwire. And they both kind of have to get in sync real fast here, and they do, because then Umibozu immediately pivots to take out the wall. So Ryo lines up his shots.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, so that Umibozu on the other side can shoulder his way through the wall.
And they can both exit through this new hole that they've just put in the wall, get down the hallway, get past the elevator. They're going to take the stairs down because they're not going to bother trying to disarm the bomb. They just need to get away from it.
Right.
They don't have that kind of time because it's almost done. It is at that moment that they get to the elevator and then make a right and assumingly get down the hallway. That's when Gomez
comes up the elevator and he's like, I was following Umibozu the whole time, and I'm gonna get him. And he goes into the room. He didn't trip any of the wires, but it's too late. Like, the countdown, the timer is already at the end of its time.
And he has just enough time to be like, shit. Like, Darkman is what I'm telling you. Like, at the very beginning of the movie, like, he got there just in time to see the little desk penguin go...
Yeah.
And then, shabam!
Yeah.
And then the whole floor goes up. And then everybody on the other side of the bridge is like, oh my god, what's going on? And Saiko's like, wait, just gotta wait it out. Nothing we can do.
Yes, the U.S. government can't do anything. There's nothing... Like, she has been very non-communicative, which is why the U.S. government should have just gone straight to the Japanese government the entire time.
At this point, Norton's getting pissed off that all this shit is happening. His dudes that he sent in the helicopter got blown to shit. The 35th floor is now rubble, very Die Hard style.
Right.
And he's like, the fate of my country's in the balance. Why aren't you doing anything? And Saiko hits him back with, well, why don't you halt your strategic defense system?
This is a thing. I had to go and check, like, what is this thing? And I guess this was during Reagan shit.
Yeah, it was during Reagan. Well,
Reagan
yeah,
into Bush.
Reagan into Bush, so same kind of idea.
So America was trying to implement this system. What are they calling it here?
The strategic defense system.
The strategic defense system, which I think in reality was called the Strategic Defense Initiative. Like, they've slightly renamed it here, but...
It's basically missile defense.
Missile defense. They were trying to get a bunch of shit off the ground that I think they were just talking about it for years, and then they didn't actually implement it in this manner. There's a very large wiki article about this, but I assume that this was big in the news at the time, and so now we're implementing it into our media. Hence, it's become a plot point here in this movie.
So, Pentagon dude Norton tries to deny that any of that is even in play. Meanwhile, down in the basement, where now we see that Cowdy is with Claude, Luna, and General Gilliam, we now see what they're trying to do is they're trying to use the supercomputer in the base of Tokyo Bay Hotel to hack into this missile system.
Which apparently they can do from here, because again, this is the hotel that's connected to the whole world, everybody's government, everything. I feel like that's something they shouldn't have advertised as loudly as they did.
Yes.
But,
and Cowdy basically tells them, y'all going to hell for this. And after several repetitions of all of these different letters that don't line up with the letters she's typing into the computer, Luna does manage to hack into the system. And this is where war games come in, because they are straight up stealing the screens that are used in the movie War Games.
It is like, we went and looked up screenshots from War Games, and they have legitimately copy-pasted, like, the map of the US with a bunch of triangles, circles, and squares indicating specific points on the US map, down to the colors of blues and greens on this map.
And the list there, because it very specifically says global thermonuclear war, just like when Matthew Broderick's character hacks into the system, he's like, I'm gonna play as the Russians. Like, that same list of targets is there on the screen. And General Gilliam is proving how much he's mad mad at the US and he's lost his shit, like, great, now we have access to the missiles, now let me all show you how I imagine New York being hit. And they managed to animate New York getting hit like the beginning of Fist of the North Star style, just nuked from orbit.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. So, just because the US did something shitty does not mean that this guy is not also shitty. He plans on murdering millions of people, okay? That's just the plan, and it's not good. It's not good at all.
So at this point, Miki, Umibozu, and Ryo have made it down to the lobby again. They're getting held down by dudes shooting at them. Umibozu now finally bothers to tell Ryo, Kaori's in the basement, get down there. He's like, alright, fine. So they open up the elevator shaft. Ryo wraps his blue jacket, because this is a blue jacket movie, thank God.
Yeah.
And uses the blue jacket to slow his descent down the elevator shaft.
This would shred the shit out of his jacket, if not just light it on fire from the friction.
Yeah, because, like, I remember watching the 90s The Phantom movie, Billy Zane trying to slide down elevator shafts with just the handles of his guns and his boots to slow him down, and I barely believed that.
Right, I mean, I know why Ryo didn't want to use his hands, clearly, because then you're sliding down and you're just like, your hands are all just shredded meat.
Yeah.
Right? So I know why he used the jacket, but then, like, he wears the jacket later, right? Like,
I don't think he doesn't.
He never puts the jacket back on?
Well, because there wouldn't have been anything left. It would have gotten shredded to shit. And
okay,
even
well, at least he doesn't have a jacket anymore.
Well, yeah, not after this. What I think is funny about this is they get to the point where they're about to enter the launch codes, but if you look at the screen, it does not say launch codes.
No, it's lunch codes.
LUNCH.
Do you still remember your lunch code?
Yeah, it was my birthday.
Don't tell people your lunch code, Josh!
Oh, yes, because they're going to go back to the year 2000 and enter my lunch code to get free lunch. Because
in the year 2000.
In the year 2000.
In the year 2000. In the year 2000.
Thank you.
Didn't they ever tell you not to share your lunch code with anyone?
They told everybody it was their birthday. All you had to do was ask somebody what their birthday was, or straight up ask them, hey, what's your lunch code? I want extra enchiladas. Like, that's just how that worked. At least that's how it went in my school.
Okay.
So now that they've hacked in
to the lunch code,
and now they're getting free lunch, they're telling Kaori, now we're going to blow up the hotel and erase all trace of this. Claude is telling her this. We're gonna make sure that they think we're dead and no one will ever be able to stop us, except it's at that moment that Claude gets shot in the back.
By Gilliam, and I'm not sure I understand why he thought he needed to do that.
Well, because he tells him, like, well, your usefulness is at an end, which, you know, that's very typical villain monologuing. But it's like, at that point, it doesn't help one way or the other.
But he could have killed Kaori, and Kaori wouldn't have been able to tell anybody, and they could have blown up the hotel. What do you mean his usefulness was at an end? If you ask me, he was still useful to their cause. I don't understand.
Yeah, he could have done like 2 or 3 more things. Like, you could have gotten an extra 5 minutes out of him. Like, what are you doing?
So, again, this guy is not a good guy. Even if he's got a reason to retaliate against the U.S., he is really shitty to his own people. So he's also not a good guy. But this is also where Ryo comes in.
Because he's getting ready to shoot at Kaori, and now Ryo busts in like, oh no, you didn't. Also, Kaori, thank you for night lunch.
And Kaori's just like, what are you talking about? I saved food for me. What do you mean?
He's like, don't worry about it. So Ryo's got his gun trained on Gilliam now. And Gilliam's like, don't do it. I got the detonator right here. You shoot me, we all go up. Luna, keep doing what you're doing. And Luna is over here like, well, I know I'm fine because Ryo, I know a little bit about you and you're not going to shoot a woman. So what you going to do? And everything kind of goes into slow-mo here, right?
Uh-huh.
Because Ryo's having to debate, well, she's about to hit this button and launch these missiles, and I got to decide, do I shoot her dad with the detonator or do I shoot the hot daughter who's going to blow up a country?
My mind was like, why are you not just shooting the computer where she's putting in the codes? But that's okay, the movie solves this problem, because then Umibozu shows up and he's like, wow, you couldn't do shit. And he's right, by the way, Ryo didn't actually solve shit.
It's Umibozu, because Umibozu picked up a rocket launcher and blows up the computer.
Umibozu saves the day. Umibozu is the hero of this movie.
Actually, he is.
He's the greatest element of this film. He has the best fight sequence in the whole movie, frankly. He does some incredible shit where he busts through a wall to save his girlfriend, okay? And he blew up the supercomputer that was trained to fire missiles on New York, alright? Like, Umibozu saved the fucking world.
He did. He actually did. Like, he's talking his shit now. He has a reason to talk shit.
Yeah.
Like, took a real expert to handle this. I'll finish your job for you, you dumbass. At this point, Gilliam has nothing left to live for. He's like, man, screw y'all. And he tries to activate the detonator. Rio gets him in the shoulder.
Right.
Finally decides who he's going to shoot because he doesn't have to shoot at Luna anymore.
Right.
Gets him in the shoulder. He stumbles backwards into where the supercomputer is blowing up and gets electrocuted to death.
Cool, so we've just killed a dictator. See, we saved the fucking world. We've saved several countries. We've saved at least 3 countries.
At least 3 countries. But the detonator has been hit for the hotel, and now we got to get out of here because the building's coming down.
There's still one more final big explosion. It's a very cool explosion. This whole building just...
It is a very good early 90s hand-drawn explosion.
Right.
And it is now finally sunrise.
You know, the company, Sunrise, who now also has Sun Motors.
Yeah. So they have Sun Motors and Sunrise Air.
Sunrise Air.
They're diversifying.
Yeah.
Diversifying that portfolio. Get that money. Because the bubble's about to burst.
It sure is. The 90s was not a good time in Japan. But no, America is, for some reason, real fucking proud of themselves.
Because they're gonna
here.
Well, yeah, because like the amusement park has been shot to shit. The cars in the expo hall have all been destroyed. The hotel has now been leveled to the ground.
There's basically only half of a theme park left.
Yeah, but New York wasn't blown up, so Norton over here is like, my save.
Norton didn't fucking do anything. In fact, he lost 2 military helicopters in the operation, and he's walking away like, yep, I'm gonna get that promotion. What the fuck are you talking about?
But he gets a rude awakening when he goes up to Sayako and is like, hey, I want to thank you for helping me with my win tonight. What can we do to, show you a little bit of gratitude?
Well, you can pay for all the damages that have happened, because earlier, you promised the U.S. government would pay for anything to get this fucker, and we're gonna hold you to that. I don't know why Tokyo Metropolitan Police have the authority to ask the U.S. government to pay for shit, but
they did. A representative of the government from the Pentagon did verbally agree to that.
And then it's like he just remembered he said that, like he just forgot that he even said that, and now he's like, oh, I really thought I was gonna get promoted, and now I'm probably gonna get either demoted or fired. Like, what do you mean?
Because
you shouldn't have said that shit. I don't know.
Well, yeah, because you're riding in on your cowboy horse, and you thought, oh, I'm gonna whoop ass and take names. Meanwhile, these 2 Japanese dudes did all the work for you, and you've leveled an entire business that's easily multi-million-dollar.
I mean, they didn't do it, though. The U.S. government literally didn't do it. They literally didn't do anything.
But if dude was authorized to, like, take control, and this is the result...
But he didn't take control, though.
But he was probably already talking shit to the U.S. like, hey, I handled it, everything's cool, and now he has to call them back and be like, hey, so, like... did you guys already give me the promotion?
But this is the thing, Sayako, it's deserved this time, okay? She really weaseled out of America. She got them to pay for shit they didn't even have any involvement in at all whatsoever. They didn't contribute troops. They didn't contribute military equipment.
There were troops and there were equipment because there were the troops in the helicopters
that
and the
got
helicopters
blown up, and they didn't do shit. They didn't do anything. They never made it to the island. They didn't fight the army. They didn't go in there and SEAL Team 6 this fucking dictator, okay? That didn't happen.
No, Ryo did that. Well, no, Umibozu did that. Well, okay, no. Umibozu took care of the computer, Ryo took care of Gilliam. So yeah, they both did
America literally didn't do anything, and they have to pay for it. Do you realize what Sayako has negotiated? She did some crazy shit to get America to pay for something that America wasn't involved in.
Well, I mean, that kind of plays into this last scene here, because they're at the docks now, Miki, Umibozu, Ryo, and Kaori, and Kaori's asking Ryo, hey, were you gonna shoot Luna?
Who knows? I don't know. Maybe? Well, it's not even what happened, so, like, why are we talking about it? I don't know.
I need to go talk to Umibozu for a second.
I like that the dub is like, Falcon, step into my office.
Falcon's probably like, when'd you get in office? And he's like, hey, so, like, level with me, man. Like, what Sayako got on you? Like, what actually happened? How'd you get roped into this?
Umibozu is just very much like, well, she did what she always does. She called me over. She said she had something she wanted to talk about. We met by the pool. She was sunbathing. She was in a swimsuit. And then she suddenly acted like she didn't call me over. And when I tried to, like, get her to turn around and look at me, then her top fell off. And I didn't even see her tits, nor did I touch them, but she accused me of seeing them and touching them, and said the only way to make up for it was to do this job. I mean, what the fuck? And Ryo's just kind of like, yeah, she be like that, but don't worry, man, I got you, not gonna tell anybody. Psych, I'm gonna go tell everybody.
Yeah, and then he immediately turns around like, Miki, he saw some titties! And then Umibozu's mad at him, like, tosses him towards the camera that's not really there. We get our freeze frame, and that's the end of the movie.
I mean, it's a pretty good movie. I like this one. It doesn't need to, you don't have to think real hard about it. There's no thinking real hard about this movie.
Yeah.
It's really good animation for being a TV movie, honestly.
Yeah, it is. And then this ending theme here, we got Rock My Love by Yoko Oginome, which is very much this New Jack Swing sounding song.
It's a good song. I like it. They used this on the Discotheque Blu-rays for the menu music.
Yeah.
So it's a good choice.
No, I like it. It's one of the better themes for the movies. Mm-hmm. And yeah, that's the movie.
Hey! Yay! We didn't have to go too much into huge differences between the English dub and the original Japanese. So this one-time ADV, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, you guys did okay. You get a C.
Yeah, C plus, somewhere around there.
Yes, for Tokyo Bay City Wars.
Good job, guys.
Yeah, so, like, it's a fun enough movie. It's a tight 45 minutes. You know, you don't have to think too hard about it. You are right, though, that Umibozu is actually the star of this movie.
He is, clearly.
And I think probably you could have sold the movie a little bit more like that. Because you look at the poster for this, and it looks like Ryo's going to save the day.
He does not. He really does not.
I mean, granted, he winged Gilliam, but, like, he wasn't the one doing the heavy lifting.
No, the whole time he was more just kind of the joke.
The comic relief.
The comic relief of the movie, which, I mean, that's fine. It's not like it's out of character for him, but he's not the hero.
No, he's not.
He's really not. He barely even qualifies as having saved Kaori. Just barely.
Just barely. And Kaori didn't even hit him.
Nah.
Not once.
She threatened to, and he wasn't even there to be hit. So...
Yeah, and he did do one assault, and she didn't get him for that.
She didn't know about it.
She didn't know about it. So eventually, I assume if she found out, she hit him.
Maybe, but that's an assumption.
Yeah, but in most cases, I feel like that's founded because the show has shown me that Kaori's pretty good about making sure Ryo gets punished for the things he does.
Yeah, he got punished for trying to assault one lady, you know. He got immediate punishment for that.
Yeah, so we at least get that much.
Yeah.
R.I.P. to another Mini Cooper. We barely knew ye.
Yeah, we didn't do a very good job throughout the course of the entirety of all the episodes of this podcast of counting Mini Coopers he's gone through. Been at least 5, I want to say, by this point. He's gone through a lot of Mini Coopers by now.
And this one is Umibozu's fault.
It is. What the fuck, man? You could have gotten in the passenger seat. You've done it before. Like, Ryo was gonna start driving. That was one funny thing about the English dub. Umibozu was gotten in the car, and Ryo is scolding him like, this is my car. And Umibozu's like, what, do you want to drive? And I'm going, of course he wants to drive. He was trying to drive it. It's his car. What do you mean? Why did you say that?
I think the dub does a good enough job of, like, playing off that, like, he's like, do you want to drive? Ryo's on the roof like, oh, now that's an idea. Like, at least the energy is matched. As far as they're back and forth there while they're driving down, trying to chase down Luna.
Right.
But that's kind of the thing about this movie is it's an easy movie. It's, you know, it's very much popcorn.
Wait, so what happened to Luna at the end? Did they arrest her?
Luna, they arrested her.
I guess. I mean, she's at the shore, and she's, like, looking dejected, and she's with the cops.
Yeah,
I guess that counts as being
somebody's got to pay. Like, granted, the U.S. is going to pay for the damage, but somebody has to be put on trial or something. That's probably the thing that Norton was... See, like, they
carry her away. They carry her away.
Yeah, so, like, Norton was going to get by on that. That was what was going to give him a promotion, that they have somebody to prosecute for all this.
Okay, but they really, again, they didn't actually do any of it.
Yeah, but he was going to take the credit.
Yeah, I understand that. I completely understand he was planning on taking credit.
But at least, everything wrapped up in a nice little bow, and you can enjoy this. Again, this movie is free to watch. It's lacking in a lot of other departments, which isn't a knock against it. It's just it's not going to give you the best cross section of things because Cowdy barely does anything. Ryo is only so cool in it.
Yeah,
but it's very much if you are a big fan of Umibozu, this is your movie.
Oh yeah, Umibozu shines here, which is great. I love Umibozu. I think he deserves more screen time like this. He's a good dude.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that'll do it here for Bay City Wars. We're going to do another movie in the next episode. We're doing, what, $1 Million Conspiracy?
Yes, $1 Million Conspiracy is next. That'll be our last kind of TV OVA film for a little while. We're eventually going to get to City Hunter 91. It is coming, but it'll be a couple of episodes.
And that'll be the last of the TV.
For a bit. There's more. There's way more of these
these movies, but as
TV
far as
movies.
A series goes.
Right. There's only one more City Hunter television series to go, and it is short.
Yeah, it's another 13 episodes, right?
12, 13 episodes, something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, be on the lookout for that.
And then after that, we're finally going to hit those live action movies.
Heck yeah!
Whew. We still haven't sat down with Savior of the Soul yet.
No, but it's coming. It's coming in like 2 episodes from now. That is coming.
That's if we even decide it's worth it.
It might not be worth it.
It might not be worth it. But we'll see. We'll let you guys know probably after $1 Million Conspiracy or even before that. Whichever one we end up doing, we'll
or
get...
did we say that Savior of the Soul was made after City Hunter 91?
I think you said it was after City Hunter 91.
Okay, so it might not be immediately, but it's coming.
Or not.
Or not.
We'll
find out in
It's Schrodinger's City Hunter project.
I think it is a Schrodinger's City Hunter movie.
Yes.
Yeah.
Close enough.
Close enough.
All right.
All right. So come back next time when we cover the OVA film $1 Million Conspiracy.
And if you want to catch us both outside this podcast, you can always find us over on Blue Sky. I'm at JoshKnightFirst.bsky.social.
And I'm at MarzGurl.com. Thank you all so much for listening to our 131st episode of MokkoriPlay. And if you don't come back next episode, I'm fighting Josh in a parking garage.
You don't have to wait for a parking garage. We can go right now.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Wait, I'm hungry.
Want a pizza roll?
Yeah, let's go get pizza rolls.
All right.